We do have a live in-class session today, period 3. Some of you will be remote, but the rest of us will be in person, so we will go over this. This is just going to be a short video. Most of it will be covered in class. Yesterday we were working on talking about the real number system, and we got into a discussion about the rational and irrational numbers in radical form. So I want to just continue with that just a little bit today to make sure that we've got this concept. Now we have just some general statements here about a number a is a square root of a number b if a squared is equal to b. And an example of that would be 6 squared is 36. So 6 is the square root of 36. So again, we're looking at this inverse relationship. We use the symbol, which is the radical symbol. It indicates a non-negative square root called the principal root. And the square root of an integer is also called a perfect square root. So here's a list of, say, the first grouping of our perfect square roots. We'll talk a little bit more about that in class. And this just sort of repeats the same thing from the last slide. It's sort of just a reinforcement. We can quickly look at finding the square root or estimating square roots of each of the following. So this will be on the board for us to do today. And again, we'll look at a variety of these and how they can be simplified or they can be estimated. We also talked yesterday even about simplifying. So we're going to spend a little time on all this today. We did some like this yesterday where we said that we can break this down into our perfect square root factors if we can and simplify. We're going to do a little bit more of that in class today to reinforce. I keep using this word set, so I want to spend a few minutes talking about set and set notation. You can classify numbers using sets, and it's just a collection of something, and it's a well-defined collection. And each thing in the collection is called an element. I use these notation. It looks like this. We put all the elements inside. We talked about the estimating. We're going to come back to that in class today. And we're going to use that notation, as you see here, that I'm using that notation as I talk back once again about our different types of numbers within the real number system. We had the rational numbers and irrational numbers. We had the integers, the whole numbers, the natural numbers. And we found out the rational numbers can be written as terminating or repeating decimals, and the irrational will not. So again, these are just some of the things that I'm reiterating from yesterday's lesson. We will spend a few moments classifying, and again, I will give you this list in class this morning, and I will then ask you to help me to name all of the subsets of real numbers that each of the following are part of. And then from there, I'm going to, if time allows, I'll go into our next lesson, and our next lesson would be lesson 1.4, which is the beginnings of the properties of real numbers, many of which you are already familiar with. So I'm going to end this video here knowing that you see some of what we're previewing for today's lesson. So until class, have a good day.